Everyone at West Hill High thought Miss Carter was a pushover. She was young, soft-spoken, and new to teaching. Her oversized glasses, flowy skirts, and gentle demeanor screamed easy target to the students who lived for drama, and for a few cruel bullies, she was the perfect prey. But what no one knew, not even the principal or her fellow teachers, was that behind her quiet smile hid a power they'd never imagine. A black belt in Judo, earned through years of discipline and silent resilience. It all started in September. Miss Carter had just graduated from university and landed her first teaching job. Math was her passion, and she believed she could help kids see its beauty. She entered the school building on her first day with a heart full of hope and lesson plans, color-coded down to the second. But from the moment she stepped into the noisy hallway, her smile began to falter. Whispers followed her. "Who's the new nerd? She looks like a student. Bet she cries by the end of the week." And unfortunately, it didn't take long for those predictions to almost come true. The bullies at West Hill were notorious. Ryan, Logan, and Jace, three seniors who ruled the hallways like a pack of wolves. They had made even substitute teachers break down or quit. And when they first saw Miss Carter fumbling with her attendance sheet, accidentally dropping her pen, or nervously adjusting her glasses, they saw weakness. And they pounced. At first, it was small things. A sarcastic, "Nice shoes, miss," when she walked by. Loud yawns in her class, snickering behind her back. But within days, it escalated. They would block the hallway when she tried to walk by, hide her chalk, draw crude sketches on the board before class. And one afternoon, after school ended and the halls were nearly empty, Ryan and Logan cornered her near the lockers. "Well, if it isn't our favorite mathlete," Logan sneered. "She teach you how to multiply your bruises yet?" Ryan laughed, pushing her shoulder. Then, without warning, they shoved her hard into a row of lockers. The loud clang echoed through the corridor. Miss Carter winced in pain but didn't cry. She straightened her glasses slowly, not out of fear, but control. She had promised herself she'd never use violence unless it was absolutely necessary. Years ago, she learned Judo to protect herself from the chaos of a troubled home life. But she had never imagined she might need it at a school, especially not as a teacher. She walked away that day with a bruise on her arm but a stronger resolve in her heart. This wasn't just about her now. What kind of message would it send? To the quiet kids in the back rows, the ones who flinched at loud voices and stared out the window to avoid attention. They were watching. Always. The bullying didn't stop. It got worse. Jace once threw her lesson plans into the janitor's bucket. Ryan tripped her in front of the whole class. And Logan recorded a video of her struggling to erase a board full of graffiti and posted it online with the caption, "This math teacher needs a calculator for life." That night, she almost quit. She sat on the edge of her bed, holding her resignation letter, tears burning her eyes. But then she thought of Ava, the shy girl who always stayed behind to clean up after class. She thought of Malik, the boy who hated math but once said, "You make it less scary." She thought of her younger self, scared and silent, who had no one to stand up for her. No, she wouldn't quit. The next morning, she walked into school not with anger but with calm determination. The final showdown came 2 weeks later. Ryan, Logan, and Jace waited for her near the locker room, thinking she'd finally crack. Jace made the first move, trying to knock her papers from her hands. She stepped back. "Not today," she said, her voice steady. Logan laughed and lunged forward to grab her arm. Big mistake. In a blur of motion, Miss Carter ducked, spun, and flipped him over her shoulder in a perfect shoy nudge. The hallway fell silent. Logan hit the ground with a shocked grunt. Ryan rushed in, but she sidestepped, used his own momentum, and pinned him against a locker in a soft but firm arm lock. "Violence isn't the answer," she said, her tone calm. "But self-defense is." Jace backed away, speechless. Within minutes, a crowd had gathered. Someone had called the principal. The boys were suspended immediately after security footage confirmed everything. And suddenly, Miss Carter wasn't the pushover anymore. Students started greeting her in the hallway. Kids who once ignored math began staying after class, asking her to explain formulas. Ava sat in the front row now, smiling. Malik started raising his hand. And slowly, the classroom became a place of trust. But what truly changed was the message. You never know the strength someone carries beneath their silence. Miss Carter never bragged. She never talked about the day she flipped two seniors like sacks of flour, but every student who saw it, who felt it, would never forget. She taught them equations and theorems, sure, but more than that, she taught them resilience, dignity, and the power of standing tall. And somewhere in the back row, a quiet girl with downcast eyes began to believe that maybe, just maybe, she could be strong too, because sometimes the quietest ones carry the fiercest strength.